everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to create a sketchbook using objects that you can find around your home. And the first step that I do is I gather my materials. So today we are going to be using some thin drawing paper. You can use any kind of paper you want. You should find this in your art kit, but about 8 sheets maybe of some thin drawing paper. Then we are going to be using a rubber band, which you can also find in your art kit. It should be orange. I use the latex-free ones. And then you're going to need to dig in the bottom of your art kit and find these really small, thin, just little boards. This is like a little scrap board that I cut. It was in my scrap pile. Just that little thin guy, and you'll see what we use it for in a minute. It's basically the edge of the book. And then you should find 2 boards. You'll notice they're a lot smaller than just a regular size drawing piece of paper. So just 2 boards here. Mine have rounded corners and they're black. Yours probably don't have rounded corners. They might be black, they might be white, they might be red, blue, green. But find those 2 boards that don't really bend easily. And the last thing that you're going to need is some tape. I got some painter's tape from my garage. I use this when I'm painting around my house on the walls. You might need to go in your garage and find some tape, like a masking tape. If you have duct tape, you can use that. If you have packing tape that you use to do mailings, you can use that. You can use just regular Scotch tape, clear transparent tape that you might use to wrap a present. But go ahead and check with your grown-up and find some tape. Thicker's a little bit easier. It might save you time, but you can use any that you want. Next step is to clear a space. Clear a space to work on. Maybe it's at your desk, maybe it's at a table. I'm on the floor. Clear a space on the floor. That works really good, especially if you have a hard floor, a hard surface to work on, carpet, it'd be a little challenging. But clear a space to work on. If you're working on a table, you might have to move a tablecloth. And then basically, the main part of doing your sketchbook is just taping everything together. So I'm going to take these 2 boards, and you can tell I'm even using like recycled boards as I do this. And you're going to line them up, and it's like a book splayed open, front and back cover, your choice, doesn't matter. And then you put your little skinny strip in between. I actually even leave a little bit of space if you can. And mine's crooked. I can't even like line it up right. I have a rip on there. Don't even worry about it. Don't stress about it at all. So you want your 2 boards with the skinny strip in between. Now we're just going to tape the center part. That's our goal, is to tape the center part. And I want to give you some tips. When you're using your tape, I don't peel it off the roll or rip it off the roll right away. So I peel it. It's hard to see when I'm using black. I'll flip it over so you could see. Let's see. Now you can see my tape against the white. So I don't pull it off the roll or rip it off the roll yet. So I'm still holding it with my hand. And I'm actually going to tape the middle by taping my entire sketchbook to the floor. This is just a little tip. If you want to do it differently, you totally can. But I just tape it to the floor. Boom. I'm going to do another strip just to cover this part. You might have to do 3 or 4 strips depending on how thick or thin your paper is. Duct tape, you could probably get it in 1. And I've just taped my sketchbook to the floor. So I just am taping that center part there. So go ahead and tape the center of your sketchbook to your tabletop, to your floor, whatever surface you're using. Kind of silly, huh? When you're done with that step, you're going to carefully peel it off. And this is the 7th sketchbook I've made, and I still struggle with this. So I'm going to carefully pull it off here, and you get this silly little tail that sticks over of extra tape. Instead of cutting it off, I just wrap it around and press. Do the same thing on the other side. Oh, peel it off. You get this weird little tail guy going on. Wrap it around and press. And if you are a perfectionist and you want things to look really, really nice and it bugs you, maybe the other side looks funny, do the same thing. Put it down. Grab your tape. If you have colored tape especially, this would be cool with caution tape. And go ahead and tape it on the other side too. You don't have to, it'll just look really nice if you do this. So go ahead and tape it to the other side if you want. And it's the same steps. Now we have these little tails, you carefully pull it up. Got this little sticky tail of rip tape. Sticky tail of rip tape. Just fold it over and press. Fold it over and press. And now you've basically just taped your cover together. And it probably looks silly. It probably isn't straight, and that's okay. But what's happened is we've just given ourselves a little edge binding. And the next step is to make a choice. Your choice, which side will be the front and which side will be the inside. So the front and back and the inside. Totally up to you. Totally up to you. I think I'm going to make the black side my outside for today. So you just kind of pick it up, and even though you've taped the heck out of it, take your time, and you're slowly going to fold it. So you kind of fold it, and you're going to get this edge here. And this is really great, and I love doing this part of the edge because then I can add more and more paper to my sketchbook if I need to. So that's basically your sketchbook. And if that's as far as you get today, awesome. If you want to move on to the next step is actually filling it with papers. So I've grabbed some of my drawing papers, and anybody who works with origami or does bookmaking will tell you should really fold one at a time. They also will tell you fold against a surface like the ground or a table. So line it up and fold one at a time. But if you are doing 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces at once, especially thin paper, I won't even know. So go ahead and fold it. My only advice for folding your papers and your pages that go inside your sketchbook is just do it against a hard surface. So what I've done is I've just taken all of those 6, 7, 8 pieces of thin white blank drawing paper, copy paper. You can even use line paper, graph paper, throw some in there. And I've just folded them in half like a book. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my sketchbook again. I'm going to open it. I decided that was the inside. Same thing with my folded pages. Just kind of open it. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but try to line up the fold with the space that you will have the edge of your book binding there. So I'm just kind of lining it up middle. Not a big deal. This is going to get all messed up anyway. And then you take your really big rubber band, and this is awkward, but you'll try to stretch it. And I'm picking up the edge of the sketchbook and my paper and just try to slide it over. And I tend to wiggle. I do one side, then the other side, then the other side, then one side, the other side, until I get it kind of in the middle. And I always kind of move it and it gets crooked. So I just take some time just to straighten it out. Move your rubber band. If your rubber band got all twisted and you want to fix it, awesome. But the cool thing about this sketchbook is you can always go back and add more pages. That's why I wanted to show you this technique. So if you want to create a book or a journal, use this for other things as well, or make multiple books, you can always add to them. Might be cool to do like your own math notebook that has a combination of line pages and graph paper. That might be awesome. Anyway, when you're done, you just kind of fold it up. You can go back and you can tweak. And tomorrow I will show you how we can collage and add to the cover. So I know that was a lot. Feel free to go back and rewatch the video and do it along with me. And really the only thing you need that's not in your art kit today is that masking tape. But hopefully you'll start to see things around your house like food packaging boxes, cereal boxes in new ways and see the new potential. Save those rubber bands and you could be making as many books as you want. Can't wait to see your sketchbook. Remember, this is just for us to have a place where we can practice our drawing. This isn't graded, and we'll continue to work on it tomorrow. No pressure. Remember, you're supposed to be making mistakes. Artists are creative problem solvers, so we need to solve some problems every day to grow as an artist. You got this.